Another video tonight. We're talking Florida State, Florida. No, we're not. We're actually talking Lane Kiffin situation down at Ole Miss, down in Ole Mississippi. Could Monday and that reporter leaking this thing and Lane Kiffin not shooting down the rumors of going to Auburn, could that have messed up the Auburn job with Mr. Cohen working at Arkansas or at Auburn? So maybe Cohen wanted to hire Lane Kiffin, but Lane Kiffin made such a terrible job of being so insincere to the Ole Miss football players that he tucked his tail between his legs and didn't take the better job at Auburn. Because at Auburn, you recruit more. The facilities are better. Lane Kiffin even said in a press conference, quote, "I've won like 18 games in 3 years, and yet these roofs, when it rains here, water still comes down in the practice facility, rainwater. So we can't even get the plumbing right here at Ole Miss." Lane Kiffin, I think, looks at Ole Miss and says, "I've taken it to the peak I can take it," because, I'm kind of in the middle of the South. I don't have as much money as Tennessee. My recruiting is definitely not at the level of Auburn. I want to be at Auburn and play Nick Saban. I still have to compete against Mississippi State and LSU because I'm right in the middle of the region in the South, and the money that we have for our football program isn't the same amount as those other schools. The resources isn't the same. What does Auburn do? They make national championships and they win them. Cam Newton won a national title in 2010, which was 13 years ago. Now, I know that Florida State also won a championship, and they don't look dang near close. But Ole Miss, nice job, but Auburn seems to have better just stuff there. So, do you guys believe that this Auburn thing was all BS? Because I don't. I believe that Kiffin kind of didn't follow through to Auburn. Said he was going to go to John Cohen. And he basically did not stand by his word to Auburn in this situation, which is sad and disappointing. So, John Cohen, if it's not Lane Kiffin, who's it going to be? It isn't going to be Hugh Freeze. The Board of Regents at Auburn does not like the behavior of Hugh Freeze with boosters. They don't like the behavior of the off-the-field stuff. The administration's not behind it, even though all the guy does is win, even though the guy is beloved at Liberty and beloved by many, many players that have played under Hugh Freeze, and many coaches that know Hugh Freeze know him as a God-fearing, good person. But to Auburn and to the people there at Auburn, they don't like Hugh Freeze. So that leaves you with a big name. Who is that mystery? Man, now it's going to get fun. You have Cadillac Williams. Carnell Williams, Cadillac, done an amazing job as an interim coach. Teams went 2-1, almost won at Mississippi State. They could go and beat Alabama tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me. Bama's not that good this year. I think that game's going to be close. Auburn guys play hard for Cadillac. Could just roll with Cadillac for 2 years. Could try to get James Franklin or Mike Gundy. Could look at Jamie Chadwell. I would look at Chadwell. I would look at Will Hall at Southern Miss. I think Will Hall is going to build a power at Southern Miss. He's going to be one of the best group of 5 coaches in the country in about a year or two, he's going to be great. You can look at the record now and say what you want. All Will Hall does is win games. Then you look at Garrett Riley. You want to make Garrett Riley the next Lincoln Riley? That could be a possibility. But the most guaranteed coach that I would hire, even over Lane Kiffin, because Kiffin is a good offensive mind, but he's too, mercurial. He's unpredictable. I would hire Glenn Schumann. Saban, Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, Glenn Schumann. Glenn Schumann's been around some of the best defensive coordinators. He's been around Dan Lanning. He's been around Will Muschamp and Kirby Smart. And he's at Georgia, and their defense is awesome. So why not try to go get Glenn Schumann and pay him a lot more money than being a defensive coordinator? To me, it's Schumann. This guy is the next thing. You fought what when Dan Lanning went out to Oregon? So Schumann should be on the list. Chadwell is a great staff at Coastal. They'll recruit well. They bring passion the right way. Cadillac should be on your list. Deion Sanders should be interviewed. For sure. All Deion does is win games. And Deion, the player development is good at Jackson State. Look, Travis Hunter is at Jackson State. So you have the best cornerback to ever play this game. You have one of the best defensive players of all time, and he's also a winning coach. That would make a lot of sense to have him in your search. For me, I'd go Schumann. I would see how Cadillac does. I would definitely have Cadillac in there, though, because Cadillac, he's a great running backs coach. He knows the O-line and the running game very well. He knows offense very well to be a coach and to be a really productive player in the NFL, too. And then his leadership is off the charts. So you look at Cadillac, and there's a bunch of guys in the SEC that are position coaches that have had success in the last 5 years. Coach Orgeron, national champion, and Sam Pittman of Arkansas. So why shouldn't Cadillac get a chance? The players love him. The community loves him. And the team is playing great organized football. I know it's Western Kentucky, you could say, in Texas A&M, and wait till we see him against a good team. He doesn't have a big enough sample size as a head coach. Fair. But neither did Dan Lanning and Glenn Schumann. Sometimes great coordinators and position coaches can be great coaches as well. Auburn's a place that you can win national titles at. You need to start thinking about recruiting and all of that goes with it. So, thank you guys. Voice is all hoarse, but enjoyed doing the video.